you need to know this about narcissists. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The most powerful weapon that you have in relation to dealing with a narcissist is the application of logic. Logic trumps everything. Logic enables you to make the right decision so you achieve the right outcome. Unfortunately, you are afflicted by emotional thinking. And emotional thinking causes you to make bad decisions, although you think that they are good decisions. And it is only much later, when you have reduced your emotional thinking, that you realize what I did wasn't the right thing to do. I wasn't thinking clearly. All victims of narcissists are affected by this emotional thinking, and it manifests in lots of different ways, which I've explained about in separate videos. Logic is fundamental to you achieving freedom from the narcissist, and my work provides you with these great big slabs of cold, hard logic, and I'm going to provide you with another slab of logic in this video by helping you understand something that you need to know about the narcissist, for the delivery of logic is what will set you free. Take a baby. Not literally, you'll get into trouble. But imagine the human infant. It is a rather pathetic being, isn't it? Irrespective of you thinking, oh, isn't it cute, isn't it beautiful, making those little cooing noises. A analytical, logical analysis of the human infant is that it's pathetic. It can't walk, for instance, but how many animals can do so within mere minutes or hours of being born? The human infant can't. It takes months, maybe even over a year in some instances. It can't feed itself, it can't hydrate itself, it can't regulate its temperature, it can't soothe itself, it can't go to sleep itself. It's pretty useless, isn't it? But what that baby has is an instant assistant, or nearly instant assistant, with regard to a caregiver. Usually, though not always, it's the mother, as a consequence of she being the one that gave birth to the child. And accordingly, somebody appears. So when that baby experiences discomfort, it will cry. And that cry alerts the caregiver that something is wrong and needs to be attended to. Sometimes it's as a consequence of recognizing the different cries. Sometimes it's a process of deduction and elimination in order to get to what the problem is. Is it hunger? Is it thirst? Too hot? Too cold? Needs soothing, got a pain, needs to go to sleep, diaper needs changing, whatever it might be. But that caregiver appears and attends. And therefore, in the world of the baby, that baby starts off life subconsciously believing that that person simply exists to cater for their needs, wants, requirements. Got a pain? That person appears and it's gone. Feeling hungry? That person appears and it goes. Thirsty? The person appears, the thirst disappears. Accordingly, although it won't consciously think this way, the child develops believing that that person only exists in order to attend to the needs and requirements of that baby. In other words, it is as if they are an extension of that baby, that they have no independent thoughts, behaviors, or requirements of themselves. As time goes on, the child learns that that person has other needs, that they need to eat, go to the bathroom, have a sleep, watch television, talk to other people. The child is taught patience, respect, sharing, cooperation, etc. And emotional empathy builds, in most instances, as a consequence of having the predisposition towards that and being shown what that emotional empathy is. Accordingly, the child develops and recognizes that people are their own people, that they have their own needs and requirements, and they don't exist solely for the purposes of that individual. In other words, they develop into somebody balanced and healthy. But that mindset of believing that that person existed solely for their needs and requirements is something that persists with the narcissist, and it relies upon this. Those of you that have had children and you were the primary caregiver will no doubt bear testament to the fact that your life simply revolved around that small parcel of human being that had arrived into your world, that you didn't sleep properly, that you were feeding, changing nappies, that you were soothing and walking. And as soon as they got off to sleep, you thought about trying to snatch some sleep yourself, but then they would wake up and then you'd have to spend time feeding and soothing. It's little wonder that many individuals go nuts as a consequence of the barrage of requirements that comes from this child. In effect, your life was put on hold. You didn't drink because you wanted to ensure, if you were breastfeeding, for example, that what you were giving your child wasn't corrupted and polluted in any such way, and you also needed to ensure that you were as on the ball as you possibly could be, sleep deprived as you might have been, to look after that child. You couldn't go out places, or if you did so, it required a military operation. Your sleep was disrupted in order to care for this child. The housework went to pot unless somebody else was taking the slack in that regard. The fact is, you, for the most part, put everything else on hold, and you had to, in order to discharge your obligation to look after that child. In effect, your world was eroded. You couldn't do the things that you once did. You couldn't see the people that you once saw, or at least not to the same extent that you once had before the child had come along. Work may well have been paused. Projects and relationships not attended to in the same way that they once were. Your sense of you disappeared for a period of time. That was necessary to cater for the needs of this child. This is precisely what the narcissist does with you. The narcissist is like that child. The narcissist expects, and this is the mindset, the subconscious mindset of the narcissist, is that you exist solely to attend to the needs of the narcissist, as did that person over there and that other person over there. They have no other function other than to attend to what the narcissist requires vis-à-vis the prime aims. This becomes particularly so where you're the intimate partner primary source to a narcissist. For you to discharge your obligation to the narcissist, you cease to exist. This means that you stop seeing your friends as much as you once did. Ordinarily, on a Tuesday, you would go and play badminton, but the narcissist complains about you doing so. So you decide to stay in and watch a film with them, because the narcissist requires you to be there to control you and to draw fuel from you. An event that you regularly enjoyed, you start to give up. You find yourself keeping quiet so as not to annoy the narcissist. Once upon a time, you would want to talk to your friend on the telephone, but you realize that the narcissist is in. Better not to do so. Better to sit quietly and talk to them instead. You don't do the things that you once did. You don't talk about the things that you once spoke about. You cater to what the narcissist wants, listening to them as they go on another of their monologues, engaging in the activities that they state that they enjoy, ensuring that you eat the things that they eat, that you go to the places that they want to go to, that you participate in the sexual activities that they deem are the ones that are appropriate for you. You are in effect deleted. Your sense of self is ironed away, stripped, piece by piece. Often you do this because you don't realize this is what is happening. You don't realize this is a necessity of the narcissistic dynamic. And at first you often do this willingly because, well, the narcissist has you in the golden period and all is hunky-dory. And so why wouldn't you want to spend more time with this person? And it doesn't really matter if you don't go and see the girls this Friday. It's fun being with the narcissist. But this is what the narcissist requires. The removal of you from all other outside influences makes you easier to control and means that you can then focus on the most important person in the universe, the narcissist. The narcissist's default setting is that a person, and in particular you as the intimate partner primary source, is placed there for the purposes of ensuring that the needs and requirements of the narcissist are met. Indeed, you are meant to understand what they are without them even being stated. You are meant to telepathically understand what the narcissist needs and requires. That may sound ridiculous, but that is what is happening. And this is why when you get it wrong, the narcissist erupts, because not only is it a threat to control, but it also signifies that you weren't discharging your role properly. You hadn't become completely subsumed in the world of the narcissist and submitting to them. For if you were, you would know automatically what to do. You would have prepared something without the narcissist having to say. You would have presented it to the narcissist before the words had even left their lips. That's what a good appliance does. Anticipates the needs and requirements of the narcissist. In order for you to be the optimum in that regard, you cannot exist. You cannot want to be asleep. You need to be awake to ensure that the needs of the narcissist are met. You can't be elsewhere, spending time with friends or family. You need to be attending to the needs of the narcissist. You can't be watching your program. You need to be watching their program. You can't be eating your food. You need to be eating their food. The essence of you becomes stripped away. You give up what you are. And it is important for you to recognize that this is what the narcissist requires and what the narcissist achieves, invariably subconsciously. That the erosion of you, the erasing of who you are, is integral to the dynamic with the narcissist to ensure that that narcissistic mindset of being the center of the universe and having their needs and requirements attended to is met. You need to watch out for this. And in most instances, it will have already happened. And it is important for you to understand why that has happened and for you to regain your sense of self. For in so doing, you may not have actually realized the extent to which you have become erased and that much of what you do becomes normalized. That you need this slab of logic to tell you your sense of self has been removed by the narcissist and you need to get it back. Kowtowing to the narcissist in the way that you did is not the basis for a relationship. It is master and servant. It is captor and slave. It is not two people in an intimate relationship. Accordingly, this slab of logic is to enable you to understand that the narcissist needs you to, in effect, disappear, that you become an extension of the narcissist, devoid of your own hopes, needs, and requirements, so that you can fully serve the narcissist. That this is the nation-state of the narcissist, where you are a vassal to it. And by recognizing that that is what must occur in the world of the narcissist and how you invariably end up catering to it and lose yourself, you can then start to find yourself once again. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.